Hello, fam. Welcome to Plantish. Let's talk about it. My co-host, Sesavec Randall, and myself, I'm Nina Curtis, host these IG Lives every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is our seventh session since we started October 22nd. So we wanted to come on and do a recap of all the delicious conversations we've had with all these wonderful founders that we've spoken. You'll let us know where you're tapping in from, if you've used any of the products, or if you've watched any of our lives that have prompted you to go and check out the products. Good morning, good afternoon, Chef.
Good afternoon, Chef. How are you?
I'm good. We're covering the West and East Coast.
Yes, indeed. You know how we do.
We are doing good. I'm excited. Can you believe this is our seventh? I keep saying sixth, but this week makes our seventh week since we've been doing these lives. And I don't know about you, but I kind of live for Tuesday.
Absolutely. And to think that we started October 22nd and it is now December. And like you said, 7 episodes later, like, wow.
Right?
Unbelievable. Yeah.
And the crazy thing also, we are 3 weeks and a day from December 25th, making us 4 weeks and a day from January 1st, 2025. That's crazy.
Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, for sure. That's all I have to say.
It does,
It
because
feels like a blur, but I can think back on literally every episode and I'm like, yeah, that was good. But like looking back at it, like on the Instagram feed, it's like, whoa, like where did the time go?
Exactly. And I think that's, at a good point, and we'll continue to do this as we do our lives and bring people, we're going to mix it up in 2025. So people don't sleep on us with what we're talking about and what we're doing. It will always be, let's talk about it, but who we'll be talking to, we might delightfully surprise you even more. So this week, we decided we're going to do a recap, since I think, at the 6th week, that's when we'll go, okay, let's do a recap, because some people don't even know we're doing this and they, tap in with us, and we're just all busy. So we also wanted to, since we're 3 weeks and a day away, just get those that are joining us live and those that will be watching the replay, just to have a little cheer. We're going through a lot, many of us, at this time of year. The holidays in general, I think, bring that up for people, and trying to decide what we're going to do different in the next year, no matter what year it is. We just wanted to share some cheer. So let's start it off, Chef. Why don't you kick it off? Let's go all the way back to October 22nd, when Luiza, the founder of Unclassic Foods, kicked it off with us. She was like, okay, I'll do this with you guys. I don't know what you're doing, but I'll come on and talk to you. And we've had the privilege of using her products in New York at the Plant-Based Food Expo. I did a demo there, and you were keeping, the kitchen in order and making sure everything came out. And then I also first met her in August at the California restaurant show, where I was able to try out her, what she calls nuggets. She uses oyster mushrooms, specialty mushrooms, 100 grams. You have 16 grams of protein in her mushrooms. So she's really doing something, I feel, special, because she's making mushrooms more accessible. She's making them, more commonplace. The fungi kingdom is its own kingdom. It's not a vegetable. It's not an animal kingdom. And so I think, with so much being talked about mushrooms, I don't know about you, Chef, but sometimes I'll go to the store and the mushrooms aren't that great.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll even go to farmer's market and they're not that great for what I'm used to. So the thing that my takeaway one with all that she said, and I'll reply after you, is that you've got consistency with Unclassic Foods. And I know she's going to even be bringing more in 2025. So I'll stop there. You take it over.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness. I just thinking back on all the sessions, I definitely appreciate each one because it brought a different vibe of its own. But our session with Luiza was so special because she was number one.
She'll forever be number one in our book of Plantish. Let's talk about it. And here's her
Yeah.
box for her retail.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. But yeah, my takeaway from our session with Luiza is to just get started. Like, don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, the journey isn't glamorous, but you know, the journey is what makes it worth it. So yeah, just to hear her experience of, you know, being from South America and coming up here and having that background in food sciences, right?
Yes.
Uh, yeah, it was just really interesting just to hear her perspective. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
I love it too because she's worked with several companies, well-known companies in the plant-based food space that we all know, and maybe you've used some of their products. I'm not going to name the names because that's just not. She said it at the time. All of our replays are put up after our live sessions, and they'll be found, or they are found on Chef Sesevec and my page. You can just scroll through, and they're easy to identify. But she spoke about how she had worked with so many companies, and she really just wanted to bring a clean label product to market that people can just look at, identify the ingredients, which the other thing, my takeaway and from us trying them, her seasonings are on point. You know, would you agree?
Absolutely. I'm still dreaming about that kimchi fried rice
Oh,
that
yeah.
you made at Plant-Based World Expo. I'm like, Chef, nobody else needs to try this. Well, let's just take it to the back.
I know. I know. I think one of the compliments was someone that was Korean that came up later, and I know her, and it was definitely a compliment. She's like, I didn't know how this was going to turn out, and it's really good. I was like, yeah, get my black card as an honorary Korean.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, straight out of the skillet. We didn't do anything to the mushrooms. Well
No.
flavored. The seasoning was just on point. So
Yeah.
yes,
And
we're getting
that's not.
some hellos in the comments.
Oh,
Hello to Over Valley Culinary, Stacy, and we have
hello.
Lucia. Hi.
I'm glad everyone's coming in. Please tap in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and also any questions if you've used any of the products or if you use any of the products that we're talking about. Please let us know your feedback, any questions you might have. If we can't answer them, we'll go right to the founders. I think for me and Chef and I have talked about it, we have this newfound respect, I'll say, in being able to speak directly to the founders. And that was the whole intention when we started talking about bringing Plantish, where we had a room on Clubhouse for 2.5 years. And we spoke to a lot of different leaders in the space, but we really wanted to close the gap from products that we buy, products that we see, products that we think of buying, to get up close and comfortable with the founders and speak to them directly, because how many times can you go in your cabinet and pull out a product, and if it's a larger brand, you may not, someone started it at some point, but who's running it now? And I think we all know our dollars matter. We vote with our dollars. So that was the premise, and that continues to be the premise of Plantish. But yeah, Luiza kicked us off. I love her spirit. I love, like you said, just go for it. The takeaway, don't be afraid. Yeah, you may fall. There may be, it's always a learning experience, but we can take this whether we want to bring a food product out, whether we're a chef, whether we're a consumer. We all have dreams. So I think it's not just for plant-based food that we're talking with these people about their innovation. What's their favorite music? I mean, they, like Daniel said, we'll get to it. He says, I am a real vegan. I am a real person here. It's not, we know who Colonel Sanders is, but for a long time I was like, is this just an animated person? Is it a real person? And is it really Colonel Sanders? I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
What?
been one of my favorite things too, Chef. Just seeing the person that started it up and you know, to hear their story of how it just gained a life of its own, and to see their success now, that was just so rewarding, for sure.
What did you
Next up,
think of
what was
Stockyard
that?
Dreamery? What did
That
you think of Stockyard Dreamery and Sorosh?
Yes,
He's a fun
I was just
person.
about to say we had Sorosh next with the cheese and that the cream cheese. Oh my goodness, it was this spring onion cream cheese. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really enjoyed his conversation because he had a different perspective, you know, coming from tech and, you know, coming over the pond to the States and starting up. It was just great to hear his perspective and the great things that they're doing in New York. And yeah, for sure. What was your takeaway from that?
You know, I had the advantage of meeting him because we were at um, in New York. Man, my brain is moving fast. We were at oh, what was the week? Climate Week. Gosh, come on, Nina, bring it together. And I worked with the Plant-Based Foods Association. So Sarosh's Stock Ale Dreamery was one of the products of the 5 menu items that we created. And it was just really great because we did a tinga quesadilla, jackfruit quesadilla, and then we used the cream cheese and we put jalapenos in it. So that was like what you swiped your quesadilla with, and it was so popular. And then, you know, I met him briefly there. It was like New York energy, right? We experienced that in our 48-hour trip almost the week before there at the Plant-Based Food Expo. And so it was like, oh man, he's got all this energy. And I was like hyped up all day for 2 days working on the project. So I just loved it. And I did that deconstructed cream cheesecake, you know, that my mom used to make. So I deconstructed it and you could see it. There's a post that I put up about it and it was just delicious. So from his cheese slices that are really meltable, I think, you know, he's in that lane of I'm going to disrupt the dairy cheese industry. I'm going to change it. I'm going to give you a product again that has clean ingredients and it's going to be deliciable. That's a new word. Put that in our lexicon. And it's also going to melt like it says, because we know past plant-based cheeses have not always delivered as much, you know, when people are coming or trying to transition or not, when we know what cheese tastes like. I know you're vegan since birth, but when we know what dairy cheese tastes like, that is the expectation. That is the benchmark that as consumers, even as chefs, we're expecting it to be functional, taste, and everything else. And so I think Sorosh is really hitting the nail on the head with that. And kudos to him. You know, I love my totes, doing it for the culture. So we've got Stock Ale here, and I love and wear this proudly when I go to the store to get my groceries or to the farmer market. So thank you, Luiza and Sorosh, for joining us. And coming up third, I know this is a popular one for both of us because we already had a relationship with them as far as consuming their product. I was getting mine at SAC Co-op and you at Earth Fair, Prime Roots, and Kimberlie Lee.
Yes. Oh, that session was amazing. Yeah, yeah. So many gems. So I need you to go first because my mind is just like flooded with like
Right.
information right now. So I'm like, okay, yeah.
So I'll go first because I've used their products. I knew of their products. I've known of their products and I really wanted to, you know, try them out. And last year I did a catering and we did these individual charcuterie cups. And so I told my client who's vegan, I do cook for a lot of non-vegans, but she was doing a book signing. So we got the Prime Roots and you know, we had to go and get it. We found it and I was calling the company like, I went to one store, they didn't have it and they directed me. We found it. It was wonderful. Most of her guests were not vegan and they were blown away that this was a plant-based deli meat. Now, there are deli meats out on the market. You and I have tried them, but Prime Roots for me blew it out the water. It continues to blow it out the water. I love that Kimberlie Lee is like, a flexitarian, and she just, I think, comes with a different perspective. And she said to us, you vegans are doing good, but you got to do a bit more. And I appreciate that, because we have to do more to move that needle to get more people. And numbers are going up. Flexitarians, um, omnivores, we all eat plants. We all eat plants. Veganism is a lifestyle, but I think I see in the future that Kimberlie, as her mission is to take over the deli, counter. And I see that she is going to do just that. And when you walk into a store like Earth Fare or the Co-op or even Sprouts, say that deli section is going to say prime roots. And then you'll have some of the other, but she's crowding out. She's really successfully, in my mind, crowding out this deli meat. And we know that the World Health Organization has stated that animal deli meats are carcinogenic group 1. So we need to be mindful. So I think her line is clean. She's using koji, which is, again, out of the fungi world, and it's just in its own lane. And I'm excited to see all that she's bringing in 2025 as she pulls up in her Tesla.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll never forget the very first time I went into Earth Fare and I walked past the Prime Roots products. And I said the story on our live, and I'll say it again for those that may be watching. I walked past and I'm like, oh, great, they're putting, meat where the plant-based stuff was. And the chef overheard me, and we're really good friends. And she said, oh, no, this is vegan. And I'm like, wait, really? Mm-hmm. And I looked closer, and it said plant-based and prime roots, and they had the little pamphlet there. And they gave me samples of everything, and my mind was blown away. So instantly, like, I became a consumer. I started buying it on a regular, and I kind of introduced it to some of my clients, and they all loved it. I also went back after our session and got an opportunity to, go behind the scenes at Earth Fare and, showcase their specialty sandwich using prime roots. So that was really cool. And yeah. Oh, and I also recommended it for a charcuterie board for a gathering that I attended last week. And it was a success for people that wasn't plant-based or vegan. So I just have to say, good job again, Prime Roots. You are definitely moving that needle forward as you intended.
And I love that, because their marketing positioning is so smart that they are in the deli meat section of the store. Yeah. They slice it fresh for you. So it's not already packaged like we get, a lot of, and that's fine, but you're getting it, you're seeing it sliced. In some cases, they provide Prime Roots, the meat slicer. So, there's no cross-contamination. Where that isn't the case, they train the stores or wherever it is, and even shops, sandwich shops and such, how to make sure that there's no cross-contamination. So there's a lot of intention and consideration for some of those things those of us as vegan or other think about, like, is the company really doing that? When you take a vegan burger and you put it on a flat top where animal meat has just been cooked, there's some of that not connecting thoughts. And so I'm always going into usually cafes or restaurants and trying to get a look at how their kitchen operation is working. So it's great to know her intention. And like you said, kudos to her. So, Chef, our next session was Vegan Since Birth, and the spotlight was on you.
Oh my
so
goodness.
Tell me, we talked a lot about, your vegan since birth.
Yeah.
I can think I have a hand plus full of people I know. I'm trying to get my black card. That's probably not till the day I die. It's not going to happen because I haven't been vegan since birth, but you brought so much light to the situation. So I'd like to know, because I asked you a question during that session, how do you think the plant-based sector is doing? Because you came from birth, your grandparents still going strong in it. So now that we've talked to our founders and we have a different perspective and connection, how do you, I'm going to ask you that question again to start. How do you think the plant-based sector is doing? And what do you think we need to do more?
Well, after having a conversation with a person like Daniel that has been doing it for over 30 years, and just to hear how their mission has not changed, I would say that we're doing a great job for sure. My top thing still stands, you know, extending compassion to ourselves, and that makes us compassionate beings to other people. So yeah, that those two things there for sure are the two main things that I see from my perspective, you know,
Yeah.
and just creating good food and not being afraid of, you know, your spice cabinet and shopping on the outside perimeters of the grocery store, you know,
Yeah.
because there's this stereotype that being vegan is so expensive, and it's just like, now, have you priced a pound of garbanzo beans versus, you know, a slab of meat? You know, so it just kind of like doing the math there and doing your research for yourself,
Yeah.
because we live in the age
And
of
the,
technology for sure.
For sure, and it's not slowing down. The other comment that we hear often, oh, vegan, it must be boring. What do you eat? How do you survive on salads?
Yeah.
What do you say to that, Chef?
Well, I say this, you know, at the beginning of the week, I make a pot of beans. This week it was garbanzo beans. And out of that one bean, I can make 10 dishes just off of the top of my head. I can make hummus, I can make a stew, I could make a dessert out of that garbanzo bean. I make a good chickpea salad. I could roast those chickpeas and make little crunchy croutons for the top of my salad. So, I mean, and that's the thing, you know, plant eating can only be as boring as you make it. You know, so if you can get in the kitchen and step outside of the box, your options are limitless.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you say plant-based eating is boring or tasteless, you know, just look in the mirror and see, you know, what's in your spice cabinet or in your pantry, and step outside of that box for a second. You know, as a kid, I always, you know, my family always said, a no thank you bite twice. You know, you try it first, and then you try it again. So as an adult, I can take that, especially as someone that is learning to love mushrooms, right?
Yes,
You know,
yes,
try it
that's
once,
right.
and if you don't like it, try it again.
That's right.
But this time, they're different. So, yeah.
That's so true. I mean, and I have to ask you, so what were the takeaways from your own session, Vegan Since Birth? Because it's one thing to be in the episode. It's one thing to be being asked questions. It's one thing to be sharing, you know, rehashing, kind of going back to, oh, I was coming through the canal, my mom,
Yeah.
and how that felt. But what were your own takeaways from your own that session?
My own takeaway from that session. Oh my goodness. Uh, it was just so interesting hearing my story in that way, because that was the first time that I've ever opened up publicly about my story. And there's so much more to it. But one of the things that I took away for myself was to, you know, just offer myself grace. Because oftentimes I'm like, oh, I could be doing better, in the sense of like, you know, just sharing my journey, or, you know, just what I'm doing. But it's like, no, just slow down, and you're doing amazing. And, you know, everything that you needed or wanted arrived in its correct time. So, yeah, one of the things that I took away from that session was to just slow down and just offer myself the grace that I'm looking for.
I love that. I know you said we're checking in, we're getting love it. Hello, Lucia. Thank you for joining, and all others who are joining. I'm just checking if we have any questions in the question box. No, people are busy doing their thing. We love it. This will go up as a replay, so please comment once you watch it and give us your feedback. You know, Chef, you said something just about kind of watching a movie of your own life. Did you have a takeaway of what you're going, or anything you were inspired to do next for 2025?
Absolutely. I have a laundry list of things that I want to, share with the world. But one of the things is, YouTube. I am
Oh,
also working on a podcast. I don't know if I mentioned in our session, but I also wrote a course last
oh,
year. I
yes.
took like 3 months off and I just put everything that helped me on my journey into a course. And I will be revamping that and making it accessible to the public next year. So it's a lot of things happening, retreats happening, everything. So just stay tuned for what we have going on. You just never know what city or country we're going to pop into. So yeah.
Exactly. You mentioned you started a YouTube. What is that handle? What is it? So people can start following you
Yes,
as you put things in.
it's my name, Sesebek
Okay.
Randall,
Okay.
Sebeq, Randall, Randle, and you'll see the life of a vegan since birth there. I have one video up, and you guys, I give you permission to hold me accountable. I would love to post one video a week. So yes, that is my promise to you all here.
I love it. I love it. And it's long form or it can be short form,
Yeah.
but you can share so much more, I think. I love YouTube for that. And I post all of our replays here on my YouTube channel. And again, like you said, that's Botanical Chef Nina Curtis. You put in Botanical Chef, it'll come up. So, Chef, you mentioned our next episode was with Daniel,
Yes.
excuse me, from Upton's Natural. And this has a special place in my heart because I did the math and I said to you, I've never met Daniel. I've met Nicole and Natalie, and I have been using Upton's Natural going on 10 years, and they've been out since 2006. Is that correct? Yes. So they first came out with their seitan products, which I'm familiar with, their chorizo, their Italian flavor. And then they brought out jackfruit, which, I love that. I always have jackfruit in my pantry. I don't run out of that. And then, they came out with their soups, and I just happened to be in the store and I was getting my jackfruit. And then I'm looking at soups, and here you go. So I love the
Beautiful.
line extension. When I think of Uptons, I think of the long haul.
Yeah.
I think of the long haul because Daniel, expressed to us since 15, he's been vegan, and he started a company as a vegan, not as per se a business person. He just wanted to make sure he had products that were accessible. He really got behind it. He shared with us, his story. You had asked him, oh, was this a family decision? And he said, no, it was, just one holiday. Maybe it was even Thanksgiving. And he said, or they were out to eat and it was a French dip sandwich. And he's like, no, I'm done. And sometimes that's how it hits us for those of us that make that decision like overnight.
Yeah.
Some people, the transition is, a little slower or it's on their journey. But I really took a lot away from him. And with all the competition out in the market today, he just expressed to me what I loved about Daniel was that I've been at this. I'm staying steadfast. I, pay attention to all the innovation and technology, but what I deliver is consistency, clean label, and things like soups and, the things we've spoke about that people are looking for, and we're going to be there. And it's a testament to him that they've withstood all of this time, one of the first disruptors in the food system market. And those were my main takeaways, besides already having tried most all his products. And, again, I knew he was the founder, but I had never met him. So to be able to speak to him like we're speaking just added so much more to me feeling good about purchasing his products and consuming them.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I would have to agree. And I just want to say they did not miss the mark on flavor. That I
Oh,
tried the chili lime jackfruit and I'm like, whoa, it
yeah.
doesn't need anything. Like the
Yeah.
spice was there, the seasoning, everything was just perfect. And yeah, like you said, being 15 and sitting at a dinner table with your family and making that decision just like that is amazing.
Yes.
And yeah, I have so much respect for Daniel, even more after that conversation, because he's doing the work, and he is being the change that he wished to see, and also he is providing a delicious product, and being an activist through food. Because like we say, good food is good food. So yeah,
Right.
kudos to Daniel and the team.
Yeah, and I love that he's privately held.
Yeah,
And, he shared with us, yes, the VC money comes, but, with that comes other things. And he just stands strong in what he knows he wants for his company. And he doesn't maybe want to have to, lean to others that don't know the market as well as he does. And then they have Liberation Kitchen in Chicago, and I can't wait to go there. Let's see what happens in 2025. Maybe we'll pull up and do a pop-up with them.
never know.
I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. You see these visions and you're just like, let's go for it, because who's to say for all of us, no matter what your dreams are, no matter what your ideals are, no matter what you wake up and think about, could that happen? Yes, it could, if that's what you really want to do. So again, I will reiterate that these conversations are not just about products, if at all. It just happens to be we want to talk to founders who have created products that we are either consuming already, purchasing, or want to think about purchasing. But the overarching, I would hope for everyone, is the inspiration that all of these founders, excuse me, have shared with us, and where we can go with that. We're going into 2025, and we should all go after our dreams. We should always be. But sometimes things get boggled up in life. We've got, others depending on us, family and work, but keep that flame going for your dreams, for yourself. And then our sixth session was with Asha Wheeldon. And I tell you, I'm gonna let you go first, Chef, as I grab my box that I knocked down.
Woo. I still need to go back again, because I've watched the session about twice, but I could go back again and just listen to us speak, and how Asha spoke about, the beautiful things that she is doing in the culinary world.
Yeah,
And just her coming from Kenya and not really knowing what cheese was. Like, that story just stuck with me. And then being on the plane with her brother, that was just like so golden. I was like, wow, I could see it. But not only that, but just from the energy standpoint of just cooking with love,
yeah.
and putting on your playlist. So many takeaways from that session, and I can't wait to continue that talk, because I know that, yeah, the world needs it for sure. Yeah, she's doing the
And
work. Asha is doing the work.
she is. She had just gotten back from South Africa, like the day before she came on with us. So, I can imagine the jet lag, just everything going on. She's based out of Canada. Actually, Asha and Kula, were gracious enough to share and extend a gift savings offer with us. And today is the last day. So you can go to kula.ca. That's kula.ca for Canada. Kula.ca, and she's giving a 15% savings if you want to try any of the products. I'm going to ask Chef to talk about the sauces, and you're getting automatic free shipping. So all you have to put in, and I put it in my story, is free ship. That's free ship, and that will populate for free shipping. And, that was like a $25 savings right off the bat. And then you get the 15%. It's already built in. But today, Tuesday, December 3rd, is the last day. We got through Black Friday. We got through Cyber Monday. And Asha said, let's take it to Tuesday so the dust can settle and people still have an opportunity to try the product. She's working with a pea protein. I think you'd agree, Chef. Flavors on point. Her positioning is Afro-Caribbean foods, obviously coming from Kenya. And, can you imagine the culture shock of getting to Canada, because she went to Toronto, then Vancouver first. And it was like, she said, where are my spices?
Yeah.
And we know that seasoning matters on all foods, But when you talk about vegan food is boring, I'm like, open up your spice cabinet for me. Let me see what you're working with, because we need to talk and we need to do a pantry redo, and let's talk about how you use your seasonings. So kudos, I think, from my takeaway to Asha for bringing in the Afro-Caribbean. She made, don't quote me, I think she said it's about, as far as cuisine, Afro-Caribbean cuisine, it's like 1% in the, as far as cuisines go of people. And there is a whole move, and it's been happening with Afro-Caribbean, Afro food. So she is taking that position in the plant-based sector. And I love that, because once again, the texture, the flavor, the taste is there. And she's got some new things. But tell us about those sauces that you have tried, Chef.
Oh yeah, Chef. Take advantage of that code at free ship, because I placed an order last Friday.
So did I.
But before
Oh,
the
I
day is
tasted, yes.
over, I'm going to place another order. So I'm giving y'all a chance right now to order your hot sauce, the Pili Pili hot sauce that I put on almost everything until it was gone. I'm giving y'all a chance to order it, because after this session, I'm going on there and I'm going to order the rest of them. There will be no more. I'm kidding. But yeah, the hot sauce was amazing. And not only did I use it as a hot sauce or a dip, I used it as a salad dressing.
Oh.
I could honestly put it in a pot, warm it up, and eat it like soup, because that's just how flavorful it was.
Wow.
And yeah, the barbecue, there's 2 barbecue sauces.
Okay.
I forgot what the other one was called. There's one that's slightly smoky, and then there's the other one that is like a tomato base.
Okay.
That one I really, really enjoy. So if I had to like rank them, the hot sauces at the top, that's a given. And then that barbecue with the tomato base, that is definitely right there in the middle. And then the smoky one was good, but the hot sauce just took it there for me. So somebody has to be number 3, right?
3 out of 3.
So,
Yes.
right. And then, like you said, those the flavor profile on those the pea protein meat substitutes, amazing. The ginger beef, the plant-based chicken, and then the curry, greatest of all time, inspired by the GOAT herself, Serena Williams.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, just to hear like that entire story and how it all came together, it was brilliant.
I loved it. And I put my order in before Friday last week, so it's coming tomorrow.
Ooh.
And I am just like, oh, Christmas has come early. I'm getting my sauces. I mean, I've tried the products. I've definitely tried all of the meats, like you said, the beef, the Serena goat, we call it that now, and the chicken. I love her play on words here. And then the sauces. And then she has another 2025. She said she'd come back. We got most everyone, well, everyone to say yes online live. So we've got them that they come back and, share their innovations, because these are the companies I'm growing with. These are the companies that I'm going to support. And yeah, so I think it's really cool what she's doing. And I just love the first, like I said, 6, you included, episodes that we did. And then the 5 product companies and founders, their innovation, their disrupting, intentions, and just creating a better food system world for everyone, not just vegans, for everyone, the planet, obviously the animals that I do it for, you do it for, and so many people. But I love what you say. We've got to have compassion for humanity, compassion for other humans, at the same time as we're having compassion for animals, but we can't take the humanness out of it, because, I think about, and I've seen some pretty strong exposés of the people working in these animal industry businesses, and it can't be pretty. It can't be good for the mental. And I've seen some really explicit things that are showing it's not good for the mental. I'm not going to talk about it here. You can find them, but we have to think of what is going on, and people that do choose to eat meat. I really ask you to think about how your meat's getting to your plate. I know someone's going to say, well, I'm a hunter. Okay, fine. But most people are not. Most people depend on stores to provide them with their animal flesh products, the dyes and all else that go into it when they talk about, alternative plant-based meats being so processed. Nobody wants to eat ultra-processed foods, but believe me, anything you're getting out of the store, maybe besides the apple, if it doesn't have a peel on it, coating, has been processed. So we do want cleaner labels. We know we're looking, and some people say, what do you mean by clean? We want labels that you can understand what the ingredients are. Call it what you'd like, what it's comfortable for you, but we want to make a difference, and especially for our future. You know how I get going, Chef. I'm not going to make this a sermon, but the fact of the matter, I think this has been a wonderful 6 episodes so far. I know that we are going to take 3 weeks. We're calling it a hiatus just due to the holiday season. I head out Saturday to the iconic Rancho La Puerta, and I'm going to be there for a week hosting 2 hands-on cooking classes. I'm going to be working with Chef Reina Venegas, who is the executive chef there, and we are doing a signature dinner. And if you have not checked out Rancho La Puerta, you should. It's been around since 1940, and it is going strong. The grounds are so healing. It's in Tecate, Mexico, and I can't wait to kind of close out my year there, because then, it's the 14th and we're headstrong into now down to 2 weeks, 1 week and some days. But what are you going to be doing, Chef, during this time? And we'll be coming back January 7th. We already have our January lineup moving into February set in stone. So, Chef, what are some of the things you're going to be doing?
Oh, yes. So December is my month of unplugging, my time of introspection. So there'll be a lot of rest, recovery, and planning. But before we get into what I'll be doing, I do have a few questions for you, because what would this episode be without a quick fire?
What would it be? I should have known better. But let's go. Let's go, Chef.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
So the first question I have for you, Chef Nina, what's one brand or company you'd like to see on Planters Let's Talk About It in 2025?
Ooh, Chunk Foods. Alex.
Chunk, okay.
I'm calling you out,
Oh,
Alex. Chunk Food.
yeah, we're going to have to get them on here. Next question. How would you describe your year in 3 words?
Inspiring, challenging, and growing.
Ooh, okay, all right. Love that, love that. What's the theme song of your life right now?
I will survive.
That's a good
You don't
one.
want me to start singing, but I sing it daily. We show up like it's all pretty and easy. No, I will survive.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, I'm going to have to listen to that after this session. Next question. What holiday dish do you have to make every year? No exceptions.
Oh, every year, no exceptions. My mom's pumpkin pie. Don't come for me, y'all, with that sweet potato pie. My mom gets down with the pumpkin pie. I don't know what you're talking about. Pumpkin pie isn't good. I don't know what lane you're in, but I love my mom's pumpkin pie. And like many of her recipes, I have deconstructed them to vegan.
Beautiful. Next, I'm going to need a slice of that, by the way, on some dry ice, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll send it to you. I just make it when we're in the kitchen together, which is going to happen in 2025. Spoiler alert.
For sure. Next question. What's one new habit that you adopted this year that you're excited to keep going next year?
Slowing down, and for me, I give grace to myself, but I give it while I'm running. So slowing down a little bit and giving grace and space to letting things happen as they should. And that is my walk. But sometimes I get so wound up, and I have a lot of energy. So I am, that's a habit that I've put in that I'm going to carry through more, like going to Rancho La Puerta. As much as I'll be teaching and working, I'm also going to be getting some treatments that I really love and taking that time to further kick off into 2025.
Oh, I love that. final question, some wisdom. If you could give your future self a little advice for the years to come, what would it be?
Go for it. Continue to go for it. Go for it. Don't ask how. Go for it and know that universe, for me, universe is always conspiring in my favor. God always has my back. And so I am a go-getter and a go for it, but I'm going to push the envelope in 2025. And, just staying up with what's happening, but find it so that it works for you. Because people I've heard people say, oh, I don't want to lose tradition. We don't have to lose anything. But I always say, do you think if our ancestors were doing what they were doing back when they were doing it, if they were here today, they'd be doing the same thing? They were already leaders. They were already innovators. They were already disruptors. And I hear my ancestors going, please keep going. So go for it.
I love that so much. So much wisdom, Chef Nina. Wow. Thank you so much for answering those quick fires. Yes, we got it in.
You got me, Chef. You got me. I love that about us. But listen, fam, you can't get rid of us. Don't think that we won't be posting these next 3 weeks in a day, 4 weeks in a day as we start the holiday seasons full throttle. We have so much content that maybe you haven't shared. We will be sharing that of our past 6 episodes, and we'll take it from there. So we wish you all blessed, happy, joyful holiday season. Spend the time with your loved ones, those that matter in your life, and give grace to yourself.
Yes, beautiful.
All right, we're signing off. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. The replay will go up. Don't forget, if you're interested in Kula, take the opportunity today, get your order in, free ship, and 15% saving is already automated or automatically will roll in. And Chef, your final words before we sign off?
Oh, yes. Final words. It is the most wonderful time of the year. So make sure you're taking the time out to plant those seeds of change for the new year. You don't have to start January 1st. You can start right now. Small changes over a long period of time create big results. That is how I lost over 100 pounds, So make sure you're, taking care of your mind, your body, your spirit, because when you show up for yourself, you show up as a better version of whatever role you play in the world. So just make sure you're pouring into yourself. All right.
I love
Have a great rest of the year, and I look forward. 2025 is not ready for us, but they better get ready.
Get ready. Mark your calendars for January 7th. We will be back live 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We always post about it, but we'll see you then, and let's all rock it in 2025. Thank you. Bye, everyone.